I'll record on Audacity.
Yeah. Okay, so wow, that was quick. We're live. So this is The Veil, Nanostorm Blues, episode 3 of 5. And when we last left, there was a really sad scene between the two semi-authoritative police officers that aren't quite police officers because they also don't care about people around them, at least uh, ostensibly. And we learned that Arthur had used Rebecca, the object, to essentially consume a piece of the onomastic, and Alex is with it, or not Alex, sorry, Alex's character Abril is with the onomastic in the apartment right now, and we had just framed it, I think, that everyone had arrived, and that was about it. Is that as far as everybody else recollects as well? Yeah, cool. And we had just like painted the scene essentially, Jason Cordova style, with the apartment. And yeah, so first off, has anyone taken improvements that I should know about?
I think everyone except me has.
How do we take those?
Oh,
Sorry.
so if you have 5, then you can just erase the 5. I think there's like a tracker on the bottom sheet of Roll20 where you can just like tick the XPs. And when you get 5, you just erase them and take an improvement from your playbook. I don't think. Let me check your playbook and see if they list them. Probably not.
Not the improvement, just the state improvements actually.
Yeah, just the state ones. And then I guess it looks like plugins and other improvements, you can just hit plus and add the text yourself. So that's probably what you'll need to do. You'll probably, well, depending on what you do. So if you take a move, you'll just add another move to the box and then erase all of the XP that you have.
Okay, sweet ass.
Yeah, or whatever you want to apply it as. If you look on your playbook for the catalyst, at the bottom left corner, there's a little section for improvements. And the above section is what you're looking at. So all your states, get a new move, get a other playbook move, erase an obligation owed. And then after your 5th improvement, then you can start taking the more sweet ones, essentially.
Okay, sweet
How
ass.
much XP do you have, Bots?
4.
Oh, 4. Oh, okay. So you don't have enough yet? Okay.
I think at least Q and Imani rolled over, or I'm not sure.
I did.
Yeah, did you take something?
Yeah, I'm gonna take ease.
Ooh. Nice. Manipulate those people. And Q, taking anything?
I think I was looking at judgment.
Oh.
Which is when you witness humanity at its worst, or at least it causes you to reevaluate everything you thought you knew about people on humanity.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. But I still... yeah, even you're like, oh, it's like, oh.
Well, before you wrote the game, so you should probably know what judgment is.
Yeah, well, I know what it is, but
so, but still, you're breaking up, and that's not good.
Yeah, I think she's maybe not here anymore, judging by the frozen. Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, there you are. Okay. You're back. Are you? Lauren?
Wow.
No, I don't think so. I guess I think she'll be rejoining shortly, is my assumption. Oh, well, that's happening. Maria, I have a question. So how are you envisioning this onomastic stuff working when you take the move?
Well, like I said, I wanted to go for. Let me look it up. I can actually. I think it was the first of the moves that the onomastic has, not the special playbook only move, but like the. And I opened the wrong thing.
Yeah, I don't mean the move. I just mean like, do you have an idea of how to color the onomastic fiction as well?
Rebecca's gonna be the Cybertome, I think.
Yeah. But like,
And
what do you like? Since you have consumed the onomastic information, I'm essentially just going to treat you like the onomastic playbook anyway, right? So, what do
okay.
you, based on the information that you have consumed, what is the like onomastics? Do you have an idea about that?
I'm gonna go with what you already had for onomastics in terms of the fiction that we've already established.
Okay.
Like they keep information, or what was it? They're like centers of information, and then the iconoclast, for some reason, they want to destroy that, which is
Okay.
basic onomastic stuff.
Okay. So why don't we say maybe since Rebecca's the cybertome, you can, feel free to include whatever kind of fiction you want towards how you're seeing the onomastic, and I'll try to keep it pretty broad when I'm putting in the fiction with Ayush. But why don't we say that like Rebecca has like imbibed all this information, right? And maybe they're still processing it, which means you're still processing it. So when
Yeah.
you start to have ideas about the onomastics and more fiction around that, then you could just be like, I've decoded more onomastic juice.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. Cool. Which is pretty interesting too, because we learned that Ayush is essentially just like raw data in a physical form, right? And you've taken that, and then Rebecca has maybe like processed it or something, and then is filtering it back into you. So, do you think you're changing as well? Like, are you becoming raw data as well, or are you just, or is that Rebecca and you're reading Rebecca?
I would like to explore that in play because one of my beliefs is like I value Rebecca above all else. So if something happens to her, that would be very bad.
Well, I don't know that it would be like I think if you've taken in raw information and that information has like a physicality to it, like Ayush's thing, right? Then I don't think that it means that Rebecca has to become something else. Like she
Oh, okay.
can totally be the object as well as the cybertome, but I think that one of you guys would also be having to be changed by this like consumption, because it's essentially like you're eating a person except their data, right?
Yeah. Like I think what I can see happening is that Rebecca starts changing, and then Arthur doesn't accept that, so he tries to make it so that he changes instead.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So, okay, well, I think we'll pick up the scenes right when Q and Amani get back after their their sad exchange. Well, sad one-sided exchange, right? Amani's just like, it's Tuesday. And Q is like, you are proud of me, and then has like flashbacks to a headshot. So I think you guys just arrive, and like I said, we have that huge screen that was like broadcasting some sort of like meadow and all that kind of stuff. But I think as you enter, it shifts into like an alert. And it's just something that you know that all of the buildings would get. Like it would be like a storm watch warning, right? Like it would override the TV or whatever and say like important news, shit's going down, don't go outside maybe, right? It's like that except for the nanostorm. So it turns off the like peaceful meadow or whatever it was that was on, and it just says alert, sandstorm permeating the city, right? And it, as you see the alert, it transitions to just like the actual window looking out, and you can see that it is like, yeah, it's just buffeting everything, and you can see maybe there's some sort of probably physical technology that is like going over the buildings. I imagine just like carpet drapes going down the buildings so that this stuff can't permeate it. And otherwise, it looks like a normal sandstorm right now. You don't see like the glowing blue eyes and whatnot, but essentially your building is on lockdown, and as is the city's until this passes. And I think it's not like an unfrequent occurrence. You guys would have dealt with this many times before, and I think the frequency is increased. But yeah, otherwise it's just sort of just wait it out for a little while, and it'll be gone. Everything's fine, right? So Ayush is still passed out in the other kind of doctorish area with Abril. And so, Abril, did you want to do anything with Ayush? He's still passed out, and you had just sort of like diagnosed him, right? Like you were the one that found out that he is essentially missing a portion of himself, and you had the mental leap to remember that the iconoclast was the one that like sucked it out of him, and then you had tackled him, and you saw that from his perspective. And so as far as you know, you're like, oh shit, that part of him is now one inside the iconoclast that was like tossed to the side, but also there's like a sandstorm buffeting the city, so you couldn't go back to retrieve this iconoclast even if you wanted to, right? So what do you do?
I can't think of anything more I want to do with Ayush. So I might just like pace around the building angrily, like throwing things out of my way until everyone else gets back.
But we'll say that like everyone had just arrived.
All right, then I guess I'll let everyone know that, guys, we failed. The iconoclast got the information. We fucked up.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Plot
What
twist.
do you mean? Ayush is sitting over there. He's got nothing.
I got the information back.
Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be a lot of tension around this.
How did you get the information back?
I have my ways. And then Rebecca is like moving around still.
And Rebecca's like a cybernetic whip-like snake type thing, right? Does Rebecca have like eyes and stuff? Like how like
I think
anthropomorphic is it?
I think the edges around the grip part have like, eyes where they attach to where it normally attaches to. So those also serve as eyes.
So like where you are holding Rebecca is also like
No, where it holds onto other people.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's like a weird thing, right? Like, wouldn't it just see you all of the time? Okay, so in terms of like an actual snake, it is not dissimilar as to where its eyes would be.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you
it's
guys
in
know.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we should try to give it back to Ayush?
How?
Well, could Rebecca do whatever it is she did in reverse?
I'm gonna look at Rebecca. Does she want to do that? I'm guessing
Well,
not.
let's roll your beginning of
Oh,
session moves too.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
is
Q, you roll it too.
that is
Q the war bot. I'm just kidding, kind of.
I rolled a 12 and I will be done.
Nice. Let's
So
see.
you hold 3.
Awesome. And you had one left over from before, so I have 4, right?
I think so.
Well, that's what I marked
Yeah.
anyway. Hopefully that's correct. Because I spent 1, and you began with 1, and yeah, I think that's correct. Because
Yeah.
I've spent 1 already.
Yeah. But yeah, you have 3 more hold. So
I don't know. I think that. Well, do you have an idea of what Rebecca's function was for, like, did you build Rebecca for 1?
no, I stole it from someone.
Do you know what the function of Rebecca is? Like, have they ever expressed that to you? Like, what they were built for, or?
Um I think so because one of the obligation questions is that I've told someone the precise origin of the object.
Oh, okay. So what was that?
I think it was not just information leech, but leech of every kind.
Right.
Like it gathers information through it gathers data. Well, not just data, but like physical data and like digital data, like everything basically,
Hmm.
and processes it.
And when Rebecca communicates with you, is it through like something vocal or subvocal or in your mind
In my mind.
in your mind? Okay. So no one else would know this exchange then, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I think what Rebecca says, like as soon as that is proposed, I think she says that it is both safer if you were to consume the rest of the knowledge as well as um, uh, like whatever the maybe the like color or vein structure that Rebecca had, like if it's a technological thing, it would be vein looking on camera just to make it a visual media. But I think it has changed color to the like golden kind of aspect that Ayush had when the iconoclast gripped his head and was stealing that information and it was coming into his head like that. I think the same structures are changing Rebecca, and I think she fears that like the reverse of that change would harm her. So I think what I'll say is that I'll name Ayush, and when you give that to Rebecca, then you can satiate the hunger and
I
mark experiment.
Okay. I'm gonna say to the rest of you, uh, Ayush can defend himself. I can. I think it would be wise to give the rest of the information to me.
It was our job to defend Ayush, and we couldn't do that.
We
And
did.
also, and Abril, you also, you're the only one that's really communicated with him since that, like the iconoclast did what it did, right? And he was like nonsensical, right?
But Ayush is a valued friend of ours who appreciates and respects us. Surely we should give him the same. Will he be the same without this information?
This information is so important. Clearly, the iconoclast wanted. What was the corporation? Out of character. What was the corporation that sent the iconoclast?
It was SedTech.
Said Tech.
Yeah, SED Tech.
Okay, Tech wants the information. It clearly is more important than I used to them.
I would beg to differ. I believe that Ayush is very important and should be complete.
And it would be dangerous to. It would be too dangerous to give him the information back. He clearly cannot defend himself.
What
That is the idea
does
here.
what does Rebecca do when she's like defensive?
Um, She stares at people.
Okay, well she's doing that.
At who? Q or
I think at Q, yeah.
yeah.
But her stance is that it would harm her. Even if, like, I think it's ambiguous as to if that is true or not. But yeah, she's changed now, so she fears going back.
So the question is, what was the deal? What did we promise?
Are you asking me in character?
Yes.
Okay.
And everybody in character.
Wasn't the deal to protect Ayush? We did that. The
We
information
did that. He's fucking insane. Can you even call that a person anymore?
the information needs to be complete. That's what happens.
I would argue that we have not protected him sufficiently and that we ought to do what we can to see that through.
So sorry, repeat that. I couldn't hear the last part.
I would argue that we have not protected him sufficiently and that we ought to see this job to completion by giving him back what he is his.
Abril, do you think that's something you could do?
Give back the information. Well, if I had the information to begin with.
Are you gonna
Giving a
put
shot,
Rebecca in your throat?
There's like some legs popping out every now and then, just like twitching.
Okay, you do not touch Rebecca with that thing, okay?
Well, then if you don't want me to do it yourself. We need to fix him.
I remember Abril, he echoed what the iconoclast was saying in the very same moments that they were saying the thing as well. In case people forgot that.
I should probably mention that to everyone. Like, not only is he broken, but he's nearly become one of them. You know those creepy phrases that lady was saying? He was saying the same things.
All the more reason to dispose of him.
All the more reason to fix him.
Do we have a way of getting in touch with our benefactor?
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Is it more interesting to you that you can't because of the storm, or more interesting that you still can? Like, is this something that you really want in the fiction?
It's an interesting question. I guess probably it'd be more interesting if we cannot. So
Probably. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you can.
No.
Yeah. Well, you can.
You can try, but you'll fail.
Yeah, you can attempt in fiction to do so, but I think it will go towards the like atmosphere of this episode, right? Like just ramping up the pressure. It's like the thing in here, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I think at this point in the conversation.
Since when do you
You
any
guys,
of you care about what happens to one person?
I don't give a damn about Ayush. I give a damn about completing this goddamn mission.
Could I
We're told to protect him, and we still can.
Can I see Ayush?
I think we had just established that he was just in like the med bay or whatever, right? Like the second bedroom of the apartment or whatever.
Okay. I would like to go over there and like kind of look him over
Sure. I think the room's just completely white, except for like this really cyberpunk looking set of tools that it would be like a chandelier, except it's like examining things that look futuristic and whatnot, and maybe like things that could probe a body and open it and do autopsies and stuff like that. And otherwise, the space is completely white. And oh, Lauren's gone. But it's a completely white space, and he's on like a white slab. It's picture like a minimalistic kitchen, except it's like a medical bay.
Sure. Could I go over there and kind of would probe work in this situation, or do they actually need to be like up, awake, and able to communicate? I guess it's an interaction, so probably not.
Well, I think it would behoove me to remind you guys too that you're in a cyberpunk world. So the fact that he is not awake doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to speak to him in another way too, right? You could always just like wire him or whatever and like go into his mind or something as well.
All right, so I feel that's more in Abril's
wheelhouse.
line. Yeah, wheelhouse. Abril, can you help me talk to him, verbally or not?
Sorry, cutting out a bit.
I want to know if you could help me talk to Ayushe.
Sure.
In another plane of existence.
Sure. However that is.
Well, what do you guys think?
Down that snake.
Well, do you guys think there is tech where, you know, you can like incept somebody, or is it just like you can plug into their brain and like talk to them? Like, is it like, yeah, like I think it would be okay for all of these technologies to exist. It just depends on what is the most interesting aspect to you guys to be able to talk to them. Because I could picture both ways.
If we've already got like creepy spider throat going on, it could be like going literally into his brain with like the claws.
Okay. And then you would be in a digital space talking to him, or?
Yeah.
And could
like
she
a simulation of him?
I was gonna say like kind of like channeling him basically.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So like your tendrils would be on his brain, and you would be the like spokesperson for Ayushe.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Sounds good. Jesus.
So you sit down next to his head. Things come out of your throat.
Yeah, so give me the fiction here. I think you'll be able to do that, but I think it'll be a risk, and the risk will be that it will probably like... Well, there'll be a few things that could go wrong. I think one of the things on the table is that, like, an iconoclastic bit of information might be able to get up in your tendril action or something, or this might harm Ayushe. There's a few different possibilities, so just be aware that there's some risks to him and to you if you want to do this.
I'm totally down for that.
Okay, and so give me the fiction and then tell me how you're feeling and roll.
Alrighty. So I think it's like, yet again, the spider claws open up. Except this time, it's like they clamp around his face and like cover just like the top half of his head, like covering over his eyes, and like I see these tendrils worming their way out and like piercing through the eardrums, going into the head. And then you see like a jolt of electricity run through, and like Abril's eyes glaze over. What emotions? frustrated, to be honest, after that whole Rebecca exchange.
Yeah, fair enough.
So rolling with mad. That is a 9.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go with choice introduced, and it will become apparent what that is as we go. So I think yeah, your eyes roll back, and you interface with his mind with your proprietary technology, we'll say.
Throat monster.
Yeah. And I think it comes out as though Ayush is like being choked. Like, so it's a young man's voice with like a British accent that everybody knows, except it's sort of like, when he's speaking as well in between it. And yeah, I think he says they're coming again, between muffled grasps and stuff. So what is it that you wanted to speak to him about?
I mean, I want to know.
So now you're doing the probe?
Yeah.
Cool. And throughout this interaction, you'll be asking to get at the heart of some stuffs?
Yeah.
Also, is for everybody else that's witnessing this, is this like also Tuesday, or is this like, whoa, haven't seen technology like this before, this is pretty fucked up, or what?
I'm pretty pissed off and impatient right now because it's like, come on, we don't have much time. He's clearly saying they're coming. We might get this information out and then dispose of him, but whatever.
So I'm just going to ask him straight up. What is more important, the information staying out of their hands or your staying alive?
You're muted, Fraser.
Wait.
It's so hard for me not to quote Fifth Element right now. Life not important. He says the most important thing is that the information does not get consumed by the iconoclasts, but there is no vessel that can hold me other than my own.
All right, let me roll some dice, I guess.
Okay. And Q, how are you feeling too? Is this like fucked up or what?
Interestingly enough, I think the technology isn't freaking Q out, but it's more the person involved that's freaking Q out a bit. And Q is a good question to ask after.
Oh yeah.
After this one, yeah.
Did you do your birth question, PS?
I did. I got an 11.
Oh, which is me asking you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm feeling impatient. So I guess that falls under mad, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So roll dice. Mad. Smith. 13. All right.
That's pretty good. I say we're continuing from last game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so hold 3. All right.
Q, were you damaged when you awoke? That's what you can ponder.
Nice.
So I guess I'll ask, are you telling the truth?
as he sees it, yeah. Like, I think what you pick up on is maybe when he's saying it, his mannerisms and speech patterns suggest that it's something he believes, but it's something like he doesn't have enough information about to know exactly what would happen. It's like when people regurgitate political stances that they've read on the internet, right? Like
Sure.
he's pretty sure because his master, like 50 years ago or whatever, told him that the only uh, people, in quotes, that could handle this information are us. And, who knows what would happen if not us.
Okay. What do you wish you could tell someone?
I think he says, to imbibe this information is to become something else. You will not remain who you are if you retain this. You will become my purpose.
And what are you really feeling?
I think fear. Like, maybe you actually pick up on two things. Like, throughout this exchange, maybe his voice goes from, like, it's always that throaty stuff going on, but I think the iconoclasts are in there somewhere as well. So I like to think that the reason why you're getting this truth is Ayusha's like fighting them internally. So sometimes you'll get a piece of like misinformation through his own voice, but then it'll be like a glitch. Like his head will twitch and then he'll come back and say what it is that he's meaning to say. So yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
It was, what are you really feeling?
Yeah, I think it's just fear, and he is just like it keeps going. When he is talking to you, it is fear. When the iconoclasts are talking, it is like a child trying to make an advocacy for something that they are not supposed to get. Right? Like it's a placating. Everything is fine. Give me the
Right.
thing that I want, and
Right.
that's how you know that there's a duality there.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look over at Rebecca and Arthur, and I'm gonna say, take it.
All right. I'm gonna have Rebecca start taking the information.
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Q takes a step forward and takes Ayusha's hand, and asks, "Dear friend, are you in suffering right now?"
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my god!
No!
Oh my god! Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I think Ayush like nods, and he is like, I think Abril starts sweating to emulate what he is going through on the slab, like in his mind. Like he is unconscious, but his mind is still fighting, and maybe even like his neurochip, right, is probably like being hacked by the iconoclast or something like that. So yeah, like he's probably in the most pain that he's ever been in his life, probably.
Q puts a hand on Abril / like Ayusha's face and says, "You were a dear friend, and I loved you deeply. and then takes a step back and
And
very
Abril,
introspective.
yes, that happens.
Abril, are you crying?
Am I crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a single oily tear.
Oily. Nice. So it's like a black tear. And then I guess it's ambiguous as to if it's Abril's tear or Ayusha's. And that's when Rebecca goes in. Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom. I am going to erase hunger now. And what was it?
Mark XP.
Which is actually the last experience I needed to get the thing, which
Yeah.
fits! Yay! Fitting thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely matches up with the fiction at this point. So, I think Abril comes out of it, right? I don't think that you want to be a part of Ayush when it's being consumed, I'm assuming.
Yes, that sounds like a very good idea.
Yeah. And we see similarly what it looks like Rebecca latches onto, Ayush's leg or torso, whatever. And we see similarly the gold lines going into it. But I think what happens visually is it is like CGI where something is being reconstructed in reverse. So like his arm is like going away into digitization and it's going all flowing into like Rebecca. And yeah, I think it doesn't take too long before Rebecca can just like imbibe all of it. But when she's done, Ayush is no longer there at all. Like there's no physical presence left of him because he is the knowledge, and the knowledge is now in Rebecca. Sound good? So that happened.
I look at the missing body and I'm like, well, that was convenient.
Y'all so cold.
Granted, I'm not entirely sure how we're going to explain this.
Yeah.
Money. What the hell was that? Why did you just let her do that?
Him. Or her.
Freaking
Yeah.
sake.
Well, it was either that or Iconoclasts were going to get it eventually. They were in there.
Maybe we could have pushed them out. Did you know he had to die?
Are Iconoclast in Rebecca now?
I don't know. I think so.
Hopefully
Or-
not.
I think that you would need to commit at least a move to figuring that out. that would not be free information.
I know, I'm going to merge.
Oh no.
Because that is a great idea.
Is it? Okay. I like all the decisions that are happening this game. Just let me say that.
I think I'm pretty happy about the turn of events. Rebecca's happy, I'm happy. So I rolled at a -1. So
I suppose a 5?
a 5.
Okay. So, and the merge state was like her essentially being grafted to your arm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Which is also how you started, like getting the information in the first place too, right? Like this similar thing happened before.
Mhm.
So I think what happens is you merge, and the code, like this will be the beginning of the download essentially, but it's going to take like X amount of time for fictional purposes as you figure out what the onomastics really are and the cybertome and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be like a nebulous percentage of download as you can.
Wait. Am I becoming the dying as well?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so you merge and we see like the information slowly seeping into you as well. And as some of the first information hits your neurochip, I think you experience like within the space of some moments, you are suddenly on like a cliff face with some greenery. Ayush is like in some very traditional monk like attire, and he is like uh, on the whatchamacallit, on the cliff face. He is sitting there, and it looks like he is meditating, and behind him there's like a not a statue but a pile of stones arranged in like what is clearly a pattern but is unclear. And I think he doesn't open his eyes and he says, I'm not sure what is going to happen to you now, but I no longer exist and I hope that you know what you were doing. And just then there's like a roaring tide of like water that is filled with foam that smashes against the cliff face, and your like world kind of shakes for a moment. And he says, you have taken me in, but you have also taken them in, and they will be coming. They will find you. Beware. And then he opens his eyes and it's just like golden eyes, and then you like snap out of this trance.
All right. So yeah, I'm out of the trance. Do I get the idea that they're coming for me or for Rebecca? Or both?
Well, in the merge state, I think it's probably indistinguishable, right?
Yeah,
like
in the merge state, it's indistinguishable, yes.
Yeah, they are coming for like you as a singular entity right now. Like probably whoever has that code, which is probably ambiguous now since you've merged with Rebecca. One of you guys or both of you guys have some like iconoclastic code, right?
Okay.
When you come out of the trance, I think Q tilts their head at you and asks, "Query, is Ayush gone?"
Yes.
Interesting. I must process this information.
Are you gonna start feeling sad now? I don't say that in character, but it feels. Do you have humanity to sit on sad now?
Yeah, I thought
totally.
that's kind of what you were going for when you were asking him if he was in pain. I thought you were trying to unlock him an emotion there.
It was a bit of both. I was trying to see if I needed to fulfill my purpose, which is to end suffering. And but it also feels some emotions.
Yeah,
Kill him.
If you want to try to unlock an emotion, you can do that. I think there is enough fictional positioning for that.
I would love to try and unlock an emotion. Awesome, cool. Ooh, I got a 5.
Oh no.
Or 4. A 4, sorry.
Is there a miscondition on that move?
I don't believe so.
Okay. You were doing the Abyss Stairs back, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, number one, you can take you can take a humanity now to unlock it anyway, and then I will make my move. So give me the
Awesome.
fiction around that.
Okay, so I think the fiction around this is very internal. Like, Q hears this information and then their face goes very blank, and then we see sort of inside their brain as they're playing back these memories they've had of Ayush, like going to the market and looking at fancy clothes with Imani, and then like drinking coffee in the cafe around there and talking about very intellectual things. And like with that is like these feelings of confidence and appreciation, and which is like the core of Q's like emotional foundation. And then I think that's then interrupted by the fear on that individual's face as Q shot them, and from there it bleeds into like nothingness and dark and loss and grief.
Nice. Okay. And so are you unlocking sad, I'm guessing?
Yes, please.
What does this
I'll
look like
take-
to the rest of us?
Good question.
Everyone else is the people in Lie to Me.
I'm not sure if you can see much in Q apart from like maybe like micro flickers of Q's like robotic eyes. As they're like playing back these memories. Maybe you can get a glimpse of like these memories inside their eyes if you look close enough.
Oh, so it's like you're actually projecting them onto your eyes to view them again?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Breaking them into your HUD, what is it? Your HUD?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I'm totally streaming them on the HUD.
Yeah, in 8K. 8K memories. Cool. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode, 8K memories.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, so that's all happening. And I think that's when people well, for one, does anyone have amplified ears for sounds?
I
I
think I
totally
do.
do. It's the one piece of shitty cybernetics
I
that I
do.
gave myself.
I have amplification.
Cool. Okay, so only you two hear this. There's like a you know that sound when somebody's hand is on like a piece of glass and dragging it? Like that smudging sound? You hear that coming from the main window in the room there, or in the apartment. What do you do?
I mean, is the window still just showing the outside, or did it go back to like showing peaceful, happy valley?
If you go out there and see, you can still see like the storm, but there is definite blue eyes staring back at you. And the strange thing about it is that you can still see the momentum of the storm going past the building, but those blue dots that make you feel as if they're watching you in such eyes are not moving with the storm. They are like still and looking in. And then your eyes are drawn to like a corner of the window in which there's like a tendril, I guess you could say, that is like in every movie when you've seen nanotechnology where it like reconstructs as it moves through the air and stuff like that. It looks like that leeching onto the window, and it seems as if it's trying to breach the window somehow.
Abril, we have company. Is there anything you can do to make sure that these windows are sealed extremely well?
I'm a soldier, not a magician. What do you want me to do? Do you have a glue gun on you?
Also, I think we get like the lights in the room flicker because that's my go-to with horror, as people know. But also the lights flicker, and in the moment the like backup generator or whatever comes on, right? So we have the flood lighting, but you can now plainly see where the veil was covering up before. On the apartment building branding, you can see that it says SetTech. Like maybe as a logo right above the door that was not there until the power went off and killed the veil for a second, and then it came back on. Everything's fine though.
Yeah, this place is camouflaged, right? What have you got to worry about?
Yeah, exactly. It might be a good time too to, I don't think you guys will remember, but I asked you guys to be thinking in the first episode about any like urban legends and stuff like that revolving around the sandstorms that are now being dubbed nanostorms because of these blue eyes to have been seen in it. If you have any ideas about that while Maria's away, then you can hit me up. Maybe Ayush and you talked about it at one point in the marketplace, even. If anyone wants more flashbacks.
Well, I mean, certainly, I think there's that general. I mean, what happened to the skeletons?
Yeah, Maria's contribution before was that in the alleyway there's like despots and stuff like that who were cybernetically enhanced, and they were just like left in the alley. So there was a skeleton of them. So essentially the fear was that the nanostorm came by and stripped them of their body and stuff, right? And it also signaled that cybernetics in this world are like cheap and valueless, right? Because they weren't even stripped of this skeleton's body. They weren't good enough for Abril to put in her throat.
I put them in there, but like they were just junk, so it spit them out again.
Yeah, not good enough.
I can think of one rumor.
Do it.
I think there are stories of people who spend too much time staring at the eyes and then find themselves so lost in them they wander off into the storm and are never seen again.
Watch out for misses, kids. Just kidding, kind of. Does anyone have any a plan of action though? I can pull you guys and then pull Maria when she comes back.
I'm
What
too
would you
sad
do?
to come up with a plan.
I'm too sad. I mean, is it even going through your guys' mind that all they want is like Rebecca and Arthur now?
I don't know that that's something that we even think of. Or at least it's not something that I would think of at this point in time. I mean, I would just be like kind of worried in general, not a specific like they've come for the information.
I think Q's just feeling a bit lost because, interestingly, I wrote Q's belief about the mission around Ayush. And with Ayush gone, I think Q's feeling a bit of a disconnect between the mission and this person.
Like, this person being
Ayush.
Okay. Why the disconnect? Because
Because
they
Ayush
died?
doesn't exist anymore.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like regret in that you wanted to speak more with Ayush, or is it like we have failed? And
I think it comes with a sense of failure since their belief was that Ayush must be protected at all costs, and we ended up eating him, and now he's gone.
yeah, yeah, which is interesting because it could have been even that, depending on what Maria had said, that Ayush could have still been there, right? Like with Hinder, but instead you like asked her point out, and she was like, "Nah, he gone. He did."
Yeah. So with Ayush gone, I don't know what is life,
What is life?
and
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and
and
more to
then
that, yeah.
did you think about that answer to the question too?
Oh,
Was I
good
damaged when
question.
I awoke? The reason why I asked that is because I find it interesting to confront, like, interrogate the prospect that you might be malfunctioning too, right? Like, especially after that conversation with Imani.
Yeah. I was definitely a bit busted up when I awoke.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So is there a part of Q that thinks that they are operating as they were meant to, or that they might be like broken?
I think with the way these emotions have unlocked, they're feeling a bit more broken, which is a bit worrying since they were already a bit busted up to begin with. So,
Right.
yeah,
Okay. Well, something to think about.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe you broke it. Okay, well, I don't know how long Maria will be, so let's just, I'm just gonna, which we'll have each of you guys say what you're doing, and then we'll hopefully Maria will come back in a bit. So, what is Abril doing?
I really have no idea. Um, I imagine there's probably like sensors or something in the base.
Sure. Yeah.
So I might like run to like a terminal indoors and like try and see if there's like we're surrounded or anything. If there's anything like being picked up.
Okay. Okay, sounds like you're gonna be analyzing then. Q, what are you gonna be doing?
Maybe trying to figure out, maybe using like the HUD to figure out like how much time we have and like
Oh,
where's the stuff coming from the most, and like where are our weak points, what do we need to reinforce, all that stuff. Very
sounds
defensive.
like you're gonna be analyzing as well then. And Amani?
Um, I think I'm.
Is Amani interested in if those lights out there is an entity at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like I would like to I would like to feel if there's something out there, but I don't really know what that would be like. What exactly that
Sure.
would fall under, if anything.
Maybe probably search feelings, right?
Oh yeah, I guess that could work. Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe not so much in terms of reconstructing the past, but I think in terms of like casting a blanket out to see what, if anything, is there, it applies, hey?
Yeah, that works.
Cool. Okay, so let's go with Abril acting first. So you run to like a terminal, or is it all just like in your head? Like, are you just interfaced with the apartment and you're, you know, moving the cursor
I think
with
I'm
your
gonna like
eyeballs?
jack into a wall using
Oh,
the tendrils again.
nice.
So like a port for it. Everyone's just so used to it by now.
Yeah, I like how everything is at least like quite like there's a physicality to your proprietary hacking action going on. Cool. So how does Avril feel about this situation and jacking into the apartment and such?
I mean, April thought these eyes were just like an urban myth, and now she's seeing them with tendrils trying to get into the apartment. So I'm gonna go with scared.
That seems fair.
That is. Where are my emotions? 7.
7. Okay, so you get to ask 2 questions from Analyze.
Oh, I have a thing about this as well.
Oh, do you?
When I analyze something with mechanical or cybernetic systems, I can ask, how is the thing vulnerable to me for free?
Oh, well, there you go. That makes sense, then.
I
Okay,
am.
I think you know that this tendril, which PS I'm picturing kind of like a rival style, like the thing that hits the window, if you've ever seen that. Just like a octopi-ish looking tendril thing that is built out of these nanobots. So I think its weakness, though, is that maybe its mistake is that it has made contact, and you can make contact with it as well through your methods of tendril action as well, right? Like I think,
Nice.
I think it is vulnerable in that it has never met something that could interface with it and manipulate it with that kind of technology, because you're the only one with that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Tendril on tendril action, as Shay would say. And then another 2.
Another 2. Let's go for which enemy is the biggest threat.
The biggest threat is so you said you were like sweeping the area with sensors to like read the stuff, right?
Yeah. See what's out there.
Yeah. So there's like a like said tech dropship kind of thing coming towards you guys as well, but you also know that it is going to take a while. So it is more of a threat than this thing in the storm, but it's essentially trying to maneuver to you through a very dangerous like nanostorm, right? So it's going to take a while, but you pick it up on the sensors.
Nice. And then I suppose, what's my enemy's true position?
I think you. I think the true position is that like maybe within this storm around your building, you maybe send like a surge of yourself through this output data, and it reacts like the nanostorm reacts as if it's like a living entity. So you know those glowing bulbs at the science ones where you touch it and like all the thing touches your finger, or it tries to, it like lights up like that everywhere. So you know that essentially this nanostorm is like an entity of itself, which I think will be apt as we go to a body, I think, to do the search feelings.
Yeah, so I think I I think I'd like stare at the eyes, and kind of like walk towards the window, and then like in some kind of vague, I think like fugue state, and kind of just end up putting my hands up against the window, and kind of I think we see probably, I don't know, kind of maybe kind of like some sort of a greenish kind of feeling tendrils, as it were, kind of like go through the window and out towards the storm and out towards the eyes.
Okay, cool.
So, all right, search feelings. That's just role playing, I guess. No, I have a right. And I'm feeling like curious, so I guess that kind of falls into pensive, so peaceful.
Cool.
Peaceful. Okay, roll dice. Sweet. 11.
Nice. Okay, empath. So you get +1 flow. Accurate emotional detail tied to the events here. Okay, cool. So I think at the same moment that Abril learns that this is like some kind of entity, right? This within this storm, there is something, and the blue eyes are a part of it. I think you get a sense at first of like mourning. They feel sadness directed at you, specifically, I think at Rebecca and Arthur, who are now one entity, right? They You don't get like a sense of like aggression or anything. Like you don't think that they're like here to kill you or anything like that. You get the idea of like an entity trying to reach out to communicate, to express loss and mourning. And it says tied to an event here. So, well, you can tell me how you know this maybe, but you'll know that it's linked to the event. Like somehow this entity is aware that Ayushe is ceased to be, and they have passed or whatever. And this isn't a response to that.
I would assume that like just it was probably watching as everything transpired.
And then
Right, because it's like around it, right?
Yeah.
Didn't I what?
And then you say that when an iconoclast, or not an iconoclast, sorry, when an onomastic dies, everyone knows about it. So technically, everyone knows what happened, kind of.
Well, no, because normally what everyone knows about it because it's a release of like information and raw data.
Oh, okay.
But you've consumed it, so maybe there was like the slightest of screams as he died, but then it was stifled as you imbibed him, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Q, you're analyzing this entity as well?
Yeah, I guess.
Or is that still what you wanted to do, knowing all this information? Assuming that you would know this information, though, like, does Abril and Amani communicate this to everybody? Because it also seems like it's happening fairly quickly as well.
I suppose if I'm like connected to the base, I could just be like sending out signals to everyone electronically. With like the things I'm learning as I'm learning them.
Sure.
Nice. I've got some questions I can ask.
Okay. Yeah, if that's still what you want to do, then do it up.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
What are you feeling?
Do I roll with a state on analyze?
Yeah. Yeah, always.
Okay, cool. Ooh, always. Okay. Oh geez, I've got too many emotions to pick from now.
That's difficult. Also, do you have what moves do you have? P.S.
I have.
Did you take another move?
The two. Yeah, I took judgment. Which is maybe a bad idea.
Okay, interesting.
I think Q is feeling a bit helpless.
Like in fear? Like, are you still afraid of this entity outside and whatnot? Or just like you're not sure what you can contribute to the situation?
Yeah, I think it's more like not sure what I can contribute. I think, yeah.
Okay, and then we get a picture of you like using your HUD to zoom in on it and like get all this information and whatnot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
100%. Okay. Oh, I got an 11. That's going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So I think we see Q like analyzing just our apartment space, wanting to figure out like in what way is our apartment vulnerable to us.
So I think you'll see like you like zoom in on the tendril or whatever, and it's sort of like has this weird thing inside of it that has extended as and is sort of kind of like drilling into this like window. So you know that you only have like a few minutes, but there is a little bit of time. And you also see that this is the only place that is like structurally that it could get through, and even that is taking some time. Oh, she's gone. That's funny. Oh, you're back. Hello. Okay, as I was talking, you're just gone. What's the last thing that you heard?
This the place it's getting through is like vulnerable, but even then it cut out.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's hitting the window because it's the only structurally it's the only place that it can hit to get in. Because otherwise, this is like a safe house. I think you guys have done a good job to fortify yourselves, and even it trying to get through the window is going to take a little while, but it's still trying to, right?
Awesome. And then what's our best way out if we had to leave?
I think you guys must have some plan to get out of a situation like this. Maybe if you go to the bottom of the apartment building, there might be like some sewers or some channels where you guys can crawl out and go beneath the structure while the sandstorm is. Yeah, escape Healy light. Yeah, but yeah, I think below is your way out because the sandstorm is happening.
And then am I detecting any like inconsistencies with what's going on right now? Like does anything appear out of place?
Yeah, like I think for one, why wouldn't this thing that is made up of like when Abril pulsed out, she could tell that it was all like a big structure, right? So for one, if it was attacking you, why wouldn't it just send like 8 tendrils and just like fuck you up or whatever, right? That's strange because it's basically a huge, massive living being that has like encompassed this building. So you would think that it would have more resources, and also maybe you tap into the same sensors and whatnot that Abril is attempted to, and you can tell that this storm is actually focused primarily on buffeting this said tech jet away from you guys. It's making its life difficult.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Arthur and Rebecca, what are you doing?
I think I'm just gonna try to figure out information about it if I can get into the database that I just got to see what this is.
Oh, you're gonna search Ayusha's memories, essentially?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. Sounds good. Do you? What in terms of questions, do you think it's a probe or an analyze? Like, what are you driving at in terms of what kind of information that you want?
Okay.
Is it
I
more strategical stuff like analyze, or is it like you want to sort of have a conversation or like relive a conversation that Ayush had in order to?
I just want to know what this is specifically. It's more like
Sounds proby to me.
yeah. Okay.
Cool. Sounds proby. When I was writing the game, that's definitely how I imagined saying it.
I'm feeling alright. Like, okay, calm, strangely, but calm because. Do I know the information about, or like, did Imani tell us that it was sad and not really trying to attack us? Okay, never.
Nope, apparently not.
But like, did any of the others say anything about the?
Well, if Abril is sharing her information, then you know that it is behaving strangely, at least, and that it is an entity around you.
All right, then I will be confused, which I think is scared.
Probably.
So that is actually a better better thing for me. And that's a 6. Joy.
Cool. Okay, so um I think what happens is you get what you want, and that you're taken back to or relive a memory of Ayusha's, right? Where he is walking down the same marketplace streets, and it's quite dark, and there's that warning on again for like a nanostorm is coming, that kind of thing. But instead, he just like steps to the bubble that protects the inside, and he waits, like he sits and does that meditation thing for a time, and then the storm happens, and after a little while, maybe we have some, what is it called in photography where it's not stop motion, but where like time goes by pretty quickly, like they always see it in a city where it goes by, that happens, time lapse, right? Time lapse happens. Wow. And when Ayusha's eyes open up again, you see the like two glowing blue eyes that are in front of you in the apartment now. And he puts his hand to the bubble but doesn't put it through it, as if it's like that he could put it through but does not. And he says, "It's good to see you again, Master." And then you're out of the trance, right? And I think you're in the same moment that you come out of the trance, there is like a pulse that goes through. It almost feels like a heartbeat of this like entity outside, and it kind of like shudders, and then another tendril latches onto the window, and now Q, who was looking for time, you have much less of it. So what is everybody doing?
This thing is Ayusha's master? I
Mhm.
say out loud.
That's what he said anyway, right, in the memory.
Yeah.
And then it kind of responded in kind to you having that memory, right? Is what it seems like.
Okay.
So has everyone been sharing the information, or am I the only one?
Does everybody know everything? Shane.
Well, yeah,
I'm sharing that information. I'm sharing that, okay, this thing is Ayusha's master. What? What is going on?
I think it wants to kind of join with Ayush. I don't know what that looks like.
I don't know what that looks like either, but if it's... I guess if it's helpful, let it in.
That's what I was thinking.
Is that what everybody's thinking?
I've got a daring plan then.
Shoot a hole? That's what that was going to be my plan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So your plan is to just like break the window and let the storm in?
Yep.
Not quite for me.
Oh. That was my plan.
Similar. I think like drill a hole where one of the tendrils is and for some tendril on tendril action, try and interface.
Oh, so like the same thing that you did with Ayush to talk to it, kind of thing, or
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
Wait, hold on. You're going to do it?
Guys,
Yes.
can't we just open the front door?
The front door? What do you mean? There isn't a front door. We're like in an
No, I'm
apartment
kidding.
complex.
You could use your bug out plan, I suppose.
Nah. I like this drilling idea.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
I like this idea.
Is everyone okay with Abril going up and interfacing essentially with it?
Well, I don't know if it needs to be Abril. I mean, would it make sense that maybe
Oh.
Rebecca should?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm okay, Rebecca.
Go straight on with the tendril on tendril action here. Or I guess it could be tendril on tendril on tendril action.
In terms of what we've established, Rebecca wants. I think Rebecca would know that if this thing is the master, then it is essentially more stuff to consume for her, right? If she can get the upper hand on it.
Okay, sure, whatever. I'll let Rebecca do it.
Well,
Sure.
but also remember that Rebecca doesn't have the same intelligence as you, right? Like, she is driven by the thing that she wants at that moment, which is to be hungry. Like, think of Rebecca as like a child, right? Like, maybe it's like a child always wants ice cream, but it might not always be good to give it some.
I am also merged with her right now, so I probably am not thinking that clearly either. So
yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so is it gonna be Rebecca or Abril? It's gonna be Rebecca?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're just going to put Rebecca where essentially they're already trying to drill through to make contact?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And we're attempting to use Rebecca as an interface to speak to this entity. / Rebecca is a sub, like her ulterior motive is like, I am hungry.
We're gonna be an iconoclast now.
Yeah. Interesting.
Where is the interface move, if there is one?
Yeah. So what I wonder what move this would fall into for. So your main motivation is to speak to it though, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll stick to what we've established in the fiction already and stick to risk then. That's what we had Abril do for interfacing with
Okay.
Ayusha's brain.
I think now that I know this, I'm more relaxed and I can actually roll peaceful.
Yeah, it seems gambly. Okay.
I mean, it's more relaxed because it's like I know this is Ayusha's master. It's not gonna try to hurt us, as far as I know.
Well, you did essentially kill Ayush and consume him, though, right?
Then he went where? Well, wasn't he like asking for it or something? I don't remember.
Ayush? No, that was your guys' call, right? Like, he said he was in a lot of pain. I bet you he'd prefer if you had given himself back to him, right? Like, he wasn't like, oh, this is for the best. I guess I'll just die then.
In that case, I guess powerful would be it.
Okay.
And then I off mark scare, roll powerful. That's another 6. Yay! All the XPs.
Okay. So okay, so Rebecca attaches to the window, and in a few moments, maybe the first tendril breaks free, right? And there's like a surge, like the blue eyes get quite bright, I think, and you are essentially like pulled into like another trance, and we go back to like that same scene that we just broke from with you being Ayush talking to the master, the storm, and the eyes sort of like pulsate and within Ayusha's mind, you can hear the master say, "You must be the one to survive. You were the last of us. If anything were to happen to you, it would be like a cataclysmic event, essentially, right?" And I think as this is happening, the like memory gets a little bit more faded because Rebecca starts to like eat the storm, right? And you can see some of the gold stuff start trickling in via her mouth, whatever her thing is that she uses to imbibe it. Because not that she's greedy for it, but I think if Ayush was like a steak dinner, then imagine what this master is, right, to her. And so the master as a starts to say like the way to defeating the iconoclast is through you, and then it starts getting all glitchy and fuzzled out as like Rebecca begins to literally eat this like memory right up. And then we'll cut to what is everybody else doing when they see this?
Question: would it still be glitchy if I merged with her, literally?
Yeah, because like essentially the master is trying to share the memory and you're eating it, and
okay.
yeah, like it's trying to communicate with you and you're just like nom 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 nom, like Pac-Manning it. Yeah. Okay, so Imani, what are you doing? I think you're the only one with context that this is probably like an alive being other than like I'm not sure if Arthur and Rebecca have made the leap to like this is an actual entity or as if like this is just more nom noms, right?
Yeah. I mean, is Rebecca still like I'm sorry, is Arthur still kind of like out of it? Or
yeah, I think
I'm
Arthur
always out of it.
well, I think Arthur has the same look on his face when he went into the trance before.
Right.
Except now it's like holding there.
I mean, I think I'll go over.
And we'll say that you're still like casting out your search feelings thing, and you can tell that like this being is in the equivalent pain of what Ayush was like going through now, right? Like being consumed. It goes from like, hey, I want to talk to you to like, ow.
Okay, if I notice that, then I think I'm gonna go over to Arthur and like try, or actually maybe even I'll just go over to Rebecca and just try to kind of like undo them basically.
Okay. And what is Abril's plan?
Join the Milage or whatever it's called. Join the tendril action.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might join the tendril action. There was one more, right?
So you want to also use the breach to communicate with it or harm it, or what is the plan?
Yeah, to talk to it. Because not getting any answers out of freaking Arthur.
Yeah, that's true. Arthur's high right now on consumption. Okay, Q, what is your plan?
I kind of think Q's just like taking a step back and observing all of this go down because there's like a lot of pain and confusion and tendrils. So I think Q's maybe looking to Imani for what would be a good course of action, but it's other ways, like kind of just watching all this go down.
Yeah, you guys have forgot about taking breaks. So do you guys want to take a break now then, and then come back, and then people can think about what they want to do? Yeah, we'll take like 5. Is that good, Shane? 5, yeah. Okay, so at 57, we'll say. Okay. Okay. See you
Awesome.
soon. How's the internet, Lauren?
Still pretty bad.
Yeah. It's funny how your stuff
hadn't I-
dropped out so quickly.
I know. I don't know. My flatmates play games downstairs, so I don't know if that's it, but yeah, it'll be fine, and then it'll just be done.
Yeah. Thank God for your cell phone, I guess.
Yeah, gosh. Oh, I did have an idea while I was away though.
Yeah?
Um, I'd kind of like to retcon and take interface instead of judgment for my move.
Sure. Sounds good.
Awesome.
And everything's like, let me speak to you, master. Which I think is good.
I gotta
That's
get
better
in on
than just
that.
killing it.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking that because I was like, well, if it's in pain, I could just try and like neutralize it. I was like, that's not interesting. It's much more fun to interface with things and then have your mind opened up to lots of wonderful, terrible things.
Mm. Sure.
Everyone is going. This is gonna be a tendril orgy in the end.
Oh geez. So Abril's getting in there to speak to it. Q wants to go in there to interface with it. And Imani's getting in there to sever the link with Rebecca. And as part of the myths, I think Arthur is still like IF on the info Rebecca is consuming / both of you because you're merged. Okay, so who wants to go first? I think in terms of action, we've probably seen Abril least. Abril, do you want to go?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so tell me what you're doing in the fiction.
I think it's like running up to the glass wall, and it's like in all those heist movies, where it's like a claw comes out and like draws a circle, and like grabs it and just pulls out a gap, and then like April mashes the face against the wall, and like the tendrils from the throat can worm through, like start, I don't know, like picking at the other tendril.
Okay, so and are you doing a specific move?
I was kind of hoping for probe.
Okay, sounds good. We'll say that you know how to speak to onomastics these days. This is second hat.
I've gotten a lot of experience in the past few days.
Yeah, this is so last 5 minutes.
Feeling kind of frustrated, to be honest.
Like in terms
Like
of you want to understand it or other people's actions or
Yeah, like Arthur's, I don't know what Arthur's doing. Like the plan was to talk to it, and he's not saying anything.
right.
Like we're running out of time. There's a dropship coming. Get it together.
Right. Sounds good.
Oh, that is a 12.
And all of the things. Okay. So, is this a similar thing as with Ayush? Like, are you becoming the vessel of which it speaks, or are you speaking to it and having like a conversation?
Hmm. I like the idea that like I try to go to talk to it and it like enters my mind instead.
Oh, okay.
Like having a conversation with me kind of as the vessel, but all internal.
Oh, okay, so you go to do the same thing that you did with Ayush, but then instead it's like we're going in your brain now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So, I think we see like like you're in the desert and there's like all these dunes milling about. There's no storm anymore. Like I think in the movie of this we get like the raging sound of the storm as you open up this window, and then the tendrils go out and everything, and it gets louder and louder and louder and louder, and then it's just dead silent, right? And you're in the desert. And there's a man standing below a tree that shouldn't be growing in the desert. Like it's quite like full of vitality somehow. And he's dressed in the same way as the audience would have seen Ayushe in the traditional like monk kind of garb. But as you move closer, they appear like more androgynous, and then as you get closer to them, they're actually like a woman. So it like suddenly shifts from like this bald man to, as you get closer to them, it becomes like a long-haired I don't know how to describe it other than like Russian looking woman. You know, like heartily and a little bit tan skin, crystal blue eyes, of course. And yeah, they're just like standing there, and it seems like they're just waiting for you. And as you approach, they say nothing, waiting for you to say the first thing.
The first question from the list.
Well, yeah. So you can spend the hold to ask the question within the interaction. So it could be the question itself worded in a different way, or as you're having the conversation, you could be like, are they telling the truth now? That kind of thing.
Oh, right.
So it's through the whole interaction. So you can say whatever you like.
Well, first off, who are you?
I have long since forgotten my name, and as the words come out, it's quite strange. Like I think you can tell that it's in a dreamscape because have you ever had a dream where you were trying to read something in the dream and that's how you knew you were in a dream because it was really fucked up and you couldn't make like at all what it was saying? Like you try to read the words in your mind, but it's like gibberish and salad. So it comes out like that, but then in your mind, it sounds like a 20-something-year-old young female voice. So it kind of like gets translated through the wind or whatever into your mind. And they say I've forgotten my name for some time, but I was one of the first what you call onomastics, and she lets out like a tinkle bell laughter kind of thing. And she says that I am what I truly am in this moment is how I feel, and how I feel is the loss of Ayushe. How are you doing today? Just kidding.
I'm doing wonderfully, you know. So this charge to protect murdered in front of my eyes.
Pardon?
I'm saying I saw Ayushe murdered in front of my eyes when I was trying to protect him.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's like, what are you doing here? What do you intend to do with us?
I am the last hope for the order of onomastics. When, like, I don't know, let's say, I don't know how much time I want to say, so I'll just say before some time ago, I moved myself into this space before the city was here. And then you see like the city that you're in, it sort of like starts going into like CGI being built mode, like up around you, like really fast time lapse. And suddenly you're in the same marketplace and you can see one of your memories of Ayushe, maybe the time that you were like helping him with their car, right? And it's one of those memories where you can be like seeing them over there doing their thing, but you can't interact with anything, and you're still talking to this person, and for some reason there's still the tree, and they're talking in your mind but also letting out this gibberish stuff, right? And yeah, I am the last hope of the order. I am the only thing that can stop the onomastics. I'm the only one who knows their secret, or stop the iconoclasts. Sorry. I'm the only one that knows their secret. And we cannot have the secret out in the open into a vessel that we are unaware of. And she sort of like even starts beginning the process of like, you know, when we saw Ayushe's hand going away when Rebecca was eating it, digitally in the world you see like her hand is like going away as well. It's quite a lot slower because, yeah, I think time is weird here.
So then, what do you want us to do?
I need you to give Ayushe back. You can't have him.
I
I think at that point we'll cut to somebody else. Do you still have one more question?
Sounds good.
Do you still,
no, I'm fine cutting it there.
Well, do you have another question though? Because we can cut back to you then.
Are you telling the truth? Definitely. What are you feeling? Loss?
Oh, so but I just mean, do you have more questions like hold to spend?
I think I have one more.
Okay, cool, yeah. So we'll cut, and then when we come back, you can still be conversing with the master. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So Q, you are trying to also speak to it now, right?
I guess.
You were gonna terminal it. And
Yeah.
What does that move say?
When you integrate or open your mind to another intelligence that isn't human, you may name them as an NPC and establish their intelligence and disposition with the MC.
Cool. Well,
whenever
you
you
can
merge with another. Ooh.
Hmm?
And then whenever you merge with another, both of you are affected in some way. The MC will tell you how at the appropriate time.
Sounds good. Okay, so what is their name?
Oh man, the name of this person, or like sort of just all of the entity.
Like that. I think the entity is the person, right? Like it is the whole
person,
cloud
yeah.
is this one person. Yeah.
Oh man, I might need to think a second on the name. Otherwise, it's going to be something like Binky or like off the top of my head that isn't appropriate.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe think on that one then. Okay. Their intelligence is like beyond human understanding, I would say, at the moment. And disposition, I think, is being wounded. Like, I think you learn that. Tell me what it looks like in the fiction to interface, but when you go in to speak to this person, I think you'll suddenly be in this memory that I just described with the tree and all the things built up and everything. But you know that they are both being hurt and also trying to be like reserved with you, right? Like they know that you don't understand what is happening truly, so they're aware that like you're hurting them not out of malice, they think, at least, you know.
Awesome. I feel like everything else in this world, Q links with this person via their head that they're addicted to. And it's kind of like psychic tendrils rather than the physical tendrils, as Q establishes. Like I think you can see this on the HUD. Like it looks physical, but then there's like nothing in our present reality to indicate that anything's happened. And then I think you see like Q's like head drop back a bit as they link up with this person.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So I think you're I think you come in behind them and you've heard like since time is timey-windy in this place, I think you've heard everything that has been exchanged. And at that very moment, Abril sees you behind the master. And yeah, so you have all this information as well. What is your goal for being in this space?
I think the goal is to seek out maybe not closure, but some more information about exactly the nature of Ayusha's like current state of being. Since I'm not sure if I trust Arthur when Arthur says that Ayusha's gone, since clearly there's still some manifestation of him like existing, even if it is just information and data.
Right. Interesting. Okay, so you're basically using this space as a vehicle to find out if Rebecca and Arthur are being truthful or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is a probe as well, perhaps. And while you're rolling that up, why don't we have Abril ask question of the master then too?
Awesome.
The only thing I could think of is, we've still got to protect Ayush.
Yeah.
Well,
so
left
as far as what they've communicated to you, like they don't believe that Ayush is gone, right?
Yeah. So then I think my final question is going to be, how could I get you to give up on Ayush?
Oh, to just like be convinced that Ayush is dead, and now this other thing is just another thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a heavy question. I think if you used your like knowledge of your like own technology, like when you are, I think essentially when you take something and put it in your throat to convert it into something else, it is a similar situation, right? Like it is, you're taking the essence of what it is and changing it into something else, and it might not be a concept that the master is aware of, especially if they have gone into this state of being so long ago that they're not aware of those concepts like that, right? Yeah, so I think maybe you glean that as far as the master is aware, if the information of the onomastic is within something else, the onomastic is present, right? Whereas you maybe your own personal views are different, and you could express them.
Right.
And Q, do you have that rolled up?
Yes, I got a 7 because it wasn't 8, but I was feeling pretty guilty about what's happened. So that's
Okay.
a 7.
And what are you trying to get? So are you probing Arthur, or are you probing the master?
I think the master. Yeah.
Okay.
Since I think the master being this having this intelligence beyond human comprehension has a better idea of what's going on than Arthur. No offense, Arthur.
Sounds good. Sick bird. Okay, so I think that's when the master sort of does like a slight turn, as if to face their body to both of you, like in case it's like a defensive thing. Like if an attacker was coming, you would want to be facing both of them. And it's also her way of also kind of like welcoming you to the conversation. And remember, during this exchange, her arm is like basically disseminating into like the ether, right? So what do you say?
I think Q looks at the slowly dissolving arm and then follows it up to her face and asks, I think she just asks, can we get him back? Can we get Ayush back?
It's interesting because you guys are both like basically at odds with each other, right?
Yeah.
Like you're desperately trying to get Arthur, and Abril is desperately basically trying to convince the master that Arthur is like ceased to exist, right? So the master, I think, like intuitively nods their head to you and says that Arthur must be alive because Arthur called to me. I heard his scream.
Arthur or Ayush?
Ayush, sorry. Jeez. Yeah, when Ayush cried out, and then she sort of like plays back that memory of like we get a flashback for the audience, right, of him like crying out as he was basically imbibed.
Ooh. I think I have my question then,
Okay.
which is, what do you wish I'd do to see this become a reality?
um Disarm Rebecca and allow me to take Ayush into myself. The other entity will not be harmed. All I want is for Ayush to have his place here with me. That
And that would
information
end
is
to... Oh, yeah?
what?
I wasn't asking, will that end to suffering?
This place is where all of us should be if we chose it. If they had a heaven, and she smiles a little bit, this would be the place for the onomastics.
Noted.
So Abril, what do you say? Because you're like opposite stance, right? Or are
I
you?
am. Maybe. I don't know. Abril is very confused.
Well, to be fair, she heard the scream like while he was being killed, so
Exactly.
it's like he might not even be there anymore.
It's true. It's true.
So like she seems to not grasp the concept of impermanence.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know.
Okay,
mean-
we'll come back to you then. Okay.
There's
Sounds
also
good.
Imani trying to detach the arm, so
Yeah,
Rebecca.
Imani, you're going to separate everything from the entity, or just Rebecca? Because there's also some tendril action now, right?
I mean, definitely Rebecca.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
think that was my main plan.
okay, and then the other ones you'll leave?
Yeah.
I was gonna pull an obligation on Imani
Oh,
Okay.
because I did tell you the secret origin or the actual origin of Rebecca. So I think I'm just gonna say like while in the trance it's like let her have it. Let her have it. You know why. So I
okay.
am to leverage that obligation.
Nice.
Uh
So are you gonna try to refute it?
I don't know how this works.
So when someone leans on you, when you ask someone to do something you want and use obligation you have on them to make things square between yourselves while doing so, if they do it, you erase one obligation, and then there's some um, yeah, essentially you're square if you do this, or you can refute it, which is you can roll to essentially not do it, and it's sort of simulating this sense of this obligation within yourself to make things square, right? It's like adjudicating it to the dice. or you can just do it and be square. So refute is when someone has obligation on you and they use it in order to ask you to do something that they want, but you can't or won't do it. Roll and add the number of obligation they have on you. So you would roll +1, right? Is that how many you have? Yeah. So it'd be 2d6 plus 1, and essentially if you rolled like a low is what you want, basically. You essentially are gunning to fail the roll in this one. It's like the harm roll.
Inverted, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what do you think?
I think I would still. I guess I'm going to try and refute it.
Okay, 2d6 plus 1. Essentially, you'll be able to, even if you get a 10 up, because they'll take 2 obligation on you extra, but that's not over 3, which means that you can still not do it. But you'll have to.
Wait, is it over or equal to 3?
Yeah, because this would give him 3, so the next time he wouldn't be able to refute it, right? Otherwise, nobody would be able to refute each other, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a 6.
6, so you failed. Nice, which is good, essentially, for you. You can do it what you want.
Do I still erase the obligation or do I keep it?
You keep it.
Okay.
All right, and then essentially you win by not having to give concrete assurances and give them more obligation on you. So I guess the exchange that you had earlier with the origins of Rebecca does not sway you in this way.
No.
Cool. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm still going to disentangle Rebecca from the other tentacle.
In just like a physical way, just rip them apart or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it'll be a risk, and if you want to interfere, Arthur, then you can do so. Sounds good.
I will interfere if that affects the roll.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you feeling while doing this?
Oh, good question.
Especially after feeling the responsibility writhe up, but then quickly be quelled, apparently.
Yeah, probably either kind of like irritated or frustrated, probably. So mad.
Mm-hmm.
And 8.
An
And
8.
it's a +1 or -2, so I am going to try to interfere.
Okay. And how are you doing that? Just like pushing him away or her away, I should say. Or
Yeah,
what?
pushing him away.
Okay.
I might I'm not sure whether I want to be mad or scared at this point.
For like Rebecca, or
yeah.
because your fear is rooted in the fact that like removing Rebecca might harm her, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so scared is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds right.
I will. That's a 7.
If the helper hinders 7 to 9, you also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost. Okay, so Shane, mark XP.
At least you get XP.
Yeah, you get that sweet XPs. And then tell me how it is that you interfere. Just by grabbing him and not allowing him to touch Rebecca, or
Her.
or sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one arm grabbing the tendrils and and then the other one just grabs Imani and just tries to shove her away,
Okay.
or like drag her to the ground while that is happening.
Okay. Interesting. So I think what happens is you guys kind of like go down in a tussle, right?
Mhm.
And the side effect of this though is since you're merged, Rebecca doesn't have as much like leash or whatever that she would have before, and she detaches from this. And I think I'll spend another hunger to say like she wants more, like she's consumed with this like hunger for taking this information, right? Like I think whatever she has consumed before is like nothing could be as rich or as good as this, right? And I think she also sees it as sort of a way of making you both more powerful, right? Like the more information that you have, the better, especially if what you have taken in is got some like iconoclastic code. Maybe taking in the master is, what you need / want.
Um.
And
So question: did I mark experience and remove hunger from before, or was that interrupted so I don't get that?
no, you got XP because you did the thing that she spent hold on you for, right?
Okay, so her hunger is currently at 0. Uh, so
No, because I had 3 hunger, right?
it has 2, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then 0's good.
Yeah.
For future things in the game, if you get below that, then you can take a move where you get an extra tag to have like a happy object, apparently, essentially. But until then, all you know is that Rebecca is sated, which I guess kind of makes sense in the fiction since she's been eating a lot. Her hunger is literally hunger. So yeah, you guys go down in a roll. Abril, do you know what you're doing?
I think I'm going to keep talking to the
Yeah,
master.
because you're trying to
like,
convince them, right?
Yeah. Well, half-heartedly. 3/4-heartedly. Most of the way there, but not entirely sure.
Okay, sounds good, I guess.
Saying, like, you heard him scream, but he's died since then. He's gone. Even when he was there, he wasn't complete.
We are
Part of him was taken away already.
information. If we are transferred to another location, we are still that information.
What if only part of you is transferred?
Then that part should be with me. That information, I am not sure how to explain to you how important that information is to both, like, to the information being kept secret is what keeps the iconoclasts in check. It is like mutually assured destruction. If they are aware that we don't have it anymore, they might as well just take over.
But they were chasing him already. They knew it wasn't with you. But we still have it.
But you don't know what to do with it, right? You're not an onomastic. And besides taking Ayushe away from himself and turning him into whatever he is now, he was still a person beyond that. And if there is a chance that he could be whole here, I don't understand why you wouldn't take it. The Iconicast cannot find me in this space. I am the wind. I am the sand. Nothing could be safer.
You say that you yourself are slowly disappearing.
That is because your companion is consuming me, and I am here speaking to you instead of lashing out.
Oh my goodness.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Would me knowing that this is Ayusha's master give me a component?
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty important. Right?
Hmm. I am thinking of using true name on her, actually.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know if if it's in the fiction yet, but my intention is basically showing that I am capable while telling her to go somewhere else and pretty much fuck up.
Are we still
On a tussle, yeah, that's.
in a tussle on the ground?
But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, if so, there's something that I would like to do while we were tussling.
okay,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Whenever it is you want to do that, let me know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Wait, is it one of your consent things?
Uh,
what-
yes.
So what do you want to do specifically?
So I think Imani's like pissed that you did this, and I want to basically like spike out you're scared using absorb.
All right.
I mean that's consent.
Yeah,
Up
I'm
to you.
trying to think. I think spiking out scared. So, All right. Mm. So if he's scared in that situation, he would just start panicking and. Okay, that's fair. You can try to do that, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Cool.
mean, that's his main stat, anyways. So it would lower basically, but still.
Okay, so
Kinda.
then I guess yeah, while we're in that tussle, I think like the camera sees like I think my face gets really angry and more with this like look of kind of like how dare you, and like I think we see this kind of like blackness kind of like coming out of me and kind of like tendriling around Arthur. Yeah, more tendrils, all the tendrils. And yeah, I'm gonna try and like scare Arthur basically to like, yeah, not to fuck with me. So all right, what does this look like?
Sounds good.
All right, I am certainly mad. So rolling. Mad. Got an 8 on absorb, which is choose 2. Okay. Right. So you completely clear out or fill up all of their emotion spikes in a different state from which one you additionally absorbed. You choose which one. So I want to spike out your so I guess want to spike out your scared, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I think I'm pissed off right now, so
yeah, I'd probably be pulling your mad probably.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be pulling your mad, spiking out your scared. And I won't spike out that emotion myself, but that will mean that obviously you will know what I'm doing.
So
you-
would the mad clear out, or is it
Yes.
just okay? Spiking out.
Hold on, is that right, Fraser?
Let me just look at the move. Empath.
Yes, it says and absorb all of their spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll be cleared out on mad, and you'll be spiked out on scared.
Does the amount of spikes I have have an effect on your character? Because I had 1 spike on mad.
No, because I chose to not be spiked out.
Okay. So I am spiked on scared. Yay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All of your emotion spikes on that are filled.
All right.
Cool. Okay, and then let's jump back to Alex. Abril was saying what?
Abril was very confused. Like,
Yeah.
we were told to protect Ayushe, and we couldn't. But this thing is more powerful than any of us.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the best way to complete our mission.
Yeah, she says, like, I have been here for more time than Ayush has been alive. If they could have gotten to me, they would have. I need Ayush to be with me here, no matter what you may believe he is or has become. The information that is important and vital to the onomastics should be here, safe in this storm with me, protecting it. And if Ayush is able to be reassembled in the storm along with me, all the better.
I think you see Q over their shoulder, right? And she looks straight at Abril and says, "You know what we need to do, not just for the mission, but for Ayush. And I wish I had an obligation on you, but I don't. And it's making me very angry."
Are you sure? Yeah, you don't.
Do you have obligation on Q?
I think yes. Abril has obligation on me, but it is not a two-way street.
But I understand.
And
I know what we need to do.
And also, like, just to be like, tell you the consequences and ask about this is like, how would you fight her, right? Like, aside from getting Rebecca to eat her, if she wasn't amenable to it, she is a storm that maybe could probably consume you all, especially if there's breaches in the window, right? So just bear that in mind.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about how.
Yeah. Do you still want to converse with her, or do you guys want to be back at the apartment?
I think I'm fine going back to the apartment.
Q, do you want to converse with the master?
No, I think I know what we need to do.
Okay, I think that's a cool cutting point too, right? Like, on that line, you guys are jolted back to the apartment.
And is it okay if, because I'm spiked and scared, I'm like, fuck this, I'm out, and I'm trying to run away from the situation?
That seems valid.
Yes.
So how is it that you are trying to escape? Like, are you using...
Then we have an actual escape route that we have established.
Okay, so do you guys think there's like a hatch or something in the apartment that you just need to get to go down there, or do you have to like just go down some normal elevator or stairs or whatever to get to the basement or whatever? It seems like an escape hatch or whatever would be prudent, right?
Maybe there's some kind of laundry
Hidden under
chute.
a rug.
Yeah, laundry
Yeah.
shoot it down, exactly.
Healy down the elevator shaft.
Yeah, everything's a Healy.
All the Heelys.
Yeah. Okay, so are you trying to get to this hatch
Yeah.
to book out? Okay, sounds good. Whew. Okay, what is everybody else doing? Let's pull the table. Okay, so Q and Abril, you get jolted out. I think you come in on the tail end of Imani reaching out her hand, or how does it work? Actually, we didn't get the fiction on that, so why don't you give us that?
On which?
On like how you spike out the person. Like, what does it look like in the movie / fiction?
I think you did describe that. It was like black tendrils
Yeah,
and shit.
it was the black
yeah,
black
right.
tendrils thing.
Right, but is that something that everybody sees, or just you see? Just
Oh
like
yeah,
random stuff?
that's only what I see. I mean, I think it's more just. I mean, we were in a tussle, and I think, as I said, we see me have that like, that kind of like, how dare you kind of like look on my face, and I think everybody else just sees
Arthur
just kind
freaking out.
of Arthur just like kind of suddenly just like loses shit and just be like, I have to get out of here, I have to get out of here, and like start heading for the escape hatch.
And I still have one more hunger or hold to spend as well. So I'm going to say that Rebecca still wants to reach out to the master, and you'll get XP and save even more hunger if you do it. she still
On
wants
to -1, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her safety first, and I'm gonna just say book it right now.
Okay, sounds good. So Abril and Q, you see Arthur getting up and booking it to, out.
With Rebecca, I assume?
Oh yeah, they're merged, so
right. Yeah.
I don't think anyone could separate them anyway.
I think Q takes a deep breath as they come back from this space and looks directly at Abril and says you know what we need to do, and just books it after Arthur.
Everyone's like still shakily standing, like bit shocked, just nods, and also chases.
Okay, so I think you're gonna do a risk for me, and the risk is that you don't make it out in time for everybody else to stop you, Arthur, and people can impede you with a hinder move if they.
I am spiked and scared, so I will roll that.
Yeah, embrace it. And is either one of you guys trying to hinder the roll? I guess we'll see what it is first. And
that's a 6.
You like 6s today, hey? Well, at least you're learning stuff.
I got enough experience to level up again.
Nice. Well, you're learning a lot. See, there's always payoff in the veil, right?
Yeah.
So, I think you get up and you start to move, and that is when the window explodes outward. Like the hooks, the tendrils go into the window for the little holes that have been drilled, and they act like hooks, and it just rips it right off into the storm, right? And now we hear the storm writhing, and yeah, I think.
Wasn't this pleasant?
Yeah, and I think the storm goes in and like actually wraps itself around all of you, and that might be a good ambiguous cut for the end of this thing, right? Because that way you guys can decide exactly how you come into Cascade, right? Maybe we cut to the future where there's some person who's going through debris of this place and finds only your neurochips.
That's totally what I was expecting would happen.
Yeah,
totally.
So yeah, we just see everybody get consumed. There's the blue lights, the eyes dangling there, and then I think everybody's eyes start to glow, and then it just like cuts to the credits, right? And scene.
Nice.
Cool. Let's do XP real quick. So I'll go in order of left to right. Abril, belief action going on.
Let me just remember what my beliefs are.
Did it not save it again?
Oh no, it's on a different tab. They're saved.
Okay.
All is well.
Me. Okay.
By the way, the move I just took is no dice.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because it seemed fitting.
Yeah. No dice is nothing can, especially an NPC, cannot remove
the object
from the person.
Correct.
Yeah. So
nice.
Okay, so beliefs, Abril?
My augmentations make me superior. I'm not allowed to fail.
So how do you feel about that one? You're not allowed to fail. I think you acted towards it, at least, right? I think it seemed like it was tested when you were like, I generally do not know what to do. What do you think?
Sorry, what was that?
It seemed like you
Cutting out
didn't.
for me.
It seemed like you were conflicted about the belief, or it was being tested in the fiction when you were like, when she was communicating with you and you said you didn't know what to do anymore, right?
I had to fight a dust storm that is like omnipotent.
Yeah, well, it seemed like you were tussling with what to do because she was making some sense, even though you were thinking like Arthur is dead, right? Or not Arthur.
Ayushe.
Ayushe.
Arthur's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sounds
up
like
to you.
a challenge to me.
Okay, cool. And what's the next one? So that's 1 XP.
Not everybody deserves to live.
Okay. How do you feel about that one?
I guess that was.
Was it tested or did it not? Like when that was happening with Ayush, did that feel like it was tested or were you just like, yep, he's gonna die now?
Jeff, I'm just so negatively here, but I kind of wanted Ayush to live. So I'm not sure if that counts as like a challenge.
Yeah, it seems like you reneged on it, essentially, right? You changed your
Yeah.
mind. Yeah. And did that get you into trouble? Seems like it might.
Yeah, I was about to go fight Arthur.
Yeah, well, and also that hesitation and whatnot might have, like, if you hadn't hesitated and kept engaging with the master, you might all be alive as well, right?
That is a very good point.
Yeah, so that's you're at 4 XP now, and what's the last one?
I only ever had 2.
Oh, okay, so 4 XP's not a bad session.
Nice.
And Q, what do you think?
Oh yeah, so I was made superior to my colleagues, which I think was tested this session just by nature of figuring out that I was like real broken and then had to figure out grief and stuff.
Yep. At least you figured it out before you got, disseminated into a storm, though, right? It's
Exactly.
silver lining.
Silver lining.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Imani is a friend to be trusted and only wants the best for me, which I don't know if I got to like engage with as much as this session.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If I could. Yeah, which is a shame. I had like such a good scene in mind for like navigating the meaning of suffering in the chest. Like it was especially after
There's still
like,
time.
Yeah, we have 2 more
We
sessions.
we have a whole nother life to go.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, it was gonna be great. Like, especially after like Ayush died, I was gonna be like, what is grief and death? And like, will I die? And blah blah blah. But anyway, I digress. And then the third one is Ayush appreciates and respects me and must be protected at all costs.
Seems like that was a thing, right?
Yeah. It definitely either got me into trouble or was tested.
Yeah. What do you think, both or what?
I think both in the sense that for a while there, I thought he was dead, and can he really protect someone if they're gone?
I think there was a compelling reason for thinking both things, right?
Yeah. And then getting me into trouble because I was totally fine with throwing Arthur into the void to bring Ayush back.
Yeah. So that's 4, I think.
I think so. Yes, I think so. Yeah, because I didn't hit on any for Imani.
Yeah. 4 is Arthur.
Cool.
Beliefs.
I think I resolved the first one. The information Ayush has is more important than him, so that's 3.
Yes, I think so. Cool.
Information and technology will lead to true happiness. I think that got me into trouble.
Yes, yeah.
And Rebecca is ultimately the only thing that matters to me. I think that also got me into trouble. So that's
Yeah.
7 XP right there and
Yep.
then.
7.
So yay, another improvement. Even though
Well,
it
I
might
mean-
not even matter. Because
Well, if you still, I'll say for sure, like if you still want to be doing that playbook and have Rebecca, we can work with that in Cascade for sure. I don't want to like strip you of the thing that you want to be doing, right?
okay.
Yeah.
I will.
We'll figure it out in the fiction.
Yeah, we'll
for
figure it
sure.
out.
And
Let's see
Imani?
here. The beauty found in destruction without care for consequences is something I must instill in Q. I don't think that really got touched on much.
Yeah, I don't think it came out.
I prize my freedom, and my arrangement with our benefactor gives me that. I must keep Ayush out of the hands of our enemies.
I think you got into trouble with that.
Yeah, I certainly got
At
into
least.
trouble with that. I don't know if that's. I mean, I guess kind of sort of it's resolved, seeing as though Ayush is gone at this point in time. I don't know what that, if that's true or not, but yeah. So however much XP that means in total,
Okay.
because I only had the 2.
Okay. I think probably 4.
Okay.
And then there we go. So I'm running Uncanny Echo right after this. Otherwise, I would debrief.
Cool.
and Lauren is playing it, so I don't think she can. But
cool.
if you guys want to, you can go ahead. Otherwise, we can chat a little bit on another day or decompress about it a little bit and work our way towards what we want in Cascade the next session as well. Whatever you think.
I would love to live chat about it at some point in the near future if people are free and available to do so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
toots.
Okay.
Yeah, I could even do it after running on Kenny Echo for a couple hours as well, but we'll see if people are even awake.
Yeah, I was going to say I feel like I'm probably not going to be awake. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I hope I'm awake.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow even or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
we'll
around
see.
tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, thanks a lot, guys. This was super
Thank
fun.
you.
Super
Cool.
interesting.
Awesome. Thanks.
That was